The Krevthar had hunted across 17 star systems, and never had it encountered prey so peculiar as the humans of Earth. The creature's 6 eyes tracked the small figure moving through the forest clearing, a human child, alone and vulnerable. Elsa had wandered too far from the research colony. At only 9 years old, she knew better than to stray beyond the perimeter markers. But the butterfly-like creatures native to this planet had been too beautiful to resist following. Now as the twin suns began their descent, she realized her mistake. The Krevthar moved with practiced silence, its chitinous limbs finding purchase on the massive trees. To the creature's biological sensors, the child registered as weak. Minimal muscle density, fragile skeletal structure, inadequate natural defenses. An easy prize for one of the galaxy's apex predators. Elsa froze as a shadow passed overhead. Her heart hammered against her ribcage and she slowly turned her head upward. The alien predator was massive, easily 3 meters tall with a body that seemed to be all edges and hunger. Its mandibles clicked in what she somehow knew was anticipation. "Stay calm," she whispered to herself, remembering what her brother Alex had taught her about wild animals back on Earth. Don't run. Never run. But the Krevthar had already calculated its attack vector. It dropped from the canopy with terrible speed, landing between Elsa and the path back to the colony. The child stumbled backward, her small voice catching in her throat as she tried to scream. The creature advanced, savoring the fierce scent that poured from its prey. In the galaxy's hunting grounds, terror made the kill sweeter. Then it heard something that made its thermal sensors spike with confusion. A roar. Not the high-pitched shriek of the child, but something deeper, rawer. A sound that spoke of territorial fury and protective rage. The Krevthar's galactic database searched frantically. No creature on this planet produced such vocalizations. No creature in its experience across 17 systems sounded quite like that. Alex had been tracking his sister for 20 minutes, his breath coming in ragged gasps as he sprinted through the forest. At 16, he was responsible for watching Elsa while their parents worked in the xenobiology labs. He'd looked away for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and she'd vanished. When he burst into the clearing and saw the Krevthar looming over his sister, something primal ignited in his chest. Later, he wouldn't remember the conscious decision to roar. It simply erupted from him, a sound drawn from the deepest wells of human evolution, from ancestors who'd stared down cave bears and saber-toothed cats, from a species that had clawed its way to the top of Earth's food chain not through strength or speed, but through sheer, stubborn audacity. The Krevthar turned its 6 eyes toward this new threat. Another human, only slightly larger, with no natural weapons, no armored hide, no venomous glands. And yet, Alex didn't slow. He grabbed a fallen branch, a pathetic weapon by any measure, and charged. His eyes locked onto the predator with an intensity that transcended logic. Every line of his body language screamed a message the Krevthar suddenly understood. You will have to kill me first, and I will make you pay for every centimeter. This was wrong. The Krevthar's instincts, honed across millennia of evolution, blared warnings through its nervous system. Prey didn't behave this way. Prey ran, prey hid, prey submitted. But humans, the creature was learning, had never properly understood the concept of prey. Alex positioned himself between the alien and Elsa, his makeshift weapon raised. His hands trembled, but his voice was steady. Elsa, back away slowly. Don't run, just walk backward toward the trees. The Krevthar's combat subroutines analyzed the situation. It could kill them both easily. The logical path was clear. Yet something about the human's stance, about the fearless way those strange binocular eyes stared into its own, triggered a cascade of uncertainty. The creature had seen prey fight before, last desperate struggles when cornered. This was different. This human wasn't cornered. This human had chosen to stand between a superior predator and weaker prey. It was irrational. It was evolutionary suicide. It was... The Krevthar's consciousness struggled to find the word in its native language and failed. Humans would later tell it the term courage. Get back! Alex roared again, taking a step forward. Not away, toward the predator. His branch swung through the air, striking the creature's foreleg with a force that would have shattered human bone, but barely registered against the alien's armor. It didn't matter. The Krevthar retreated a step, not from pain, not from fear, but from something it had never encountered before. the absolute certainty radiating from this fragile creature that it would not yield, would not surrender, would fight until its last breath for something it valued more than its own survival. In that moment, the Krevthar understood why the galaxy was beginning to whisper nervously about the humans, who had recently joined the interstellar community. These creatures made no sense. They were weak, soft, slow, but they refused to accept these limitations. They looked at the universe's harsh realities and simply disagreed. The Predator's 6 eyes met Alex's 2 for a long moment. Then, with a chittering sound that might have been confusion or respect or both, the Krevthar turned and melted back into the forest. Alex stood frozen, his branch still raised, his heart threatening to burst from his chest. Behind him, Elsa sobbed with relief. "Alec," she whispered. "Why did it leave?" He lowered his weapon slowly, his entire body beginning to shake with delayed shock. "I don't know, Elsa, I really don't know." But somewhere in the forest, the Krevthar was already transmitting a warning to others of its kind. The humans were not prey. They were something far more dangerous. They were guardians who would stand against any odds for those they protected. The galaxy would learn this lesson repeatedly in the years to come. Humanity's strength was never in their bodies. It was in their absolute refusal to abandon each other, even when faced with impossible odds. Some called it foolishness, others called it courage. The humans simply called it family.